So when you're moving, let's take an example from Guadalajara to Chicago. Uh, you want to move that door to door, meaning it stays on the same trailer all the way through. It does not get transloaded at the border. So as a freight broker, you hire a trucking company based in Laredo, Texas, in the United States. They have a
Wow.
DOT number, they have an MC number, they have cargo insurance, general auto, and all that stuff. And you go, I need you guys to haul this load for me from Guadalajara to Chicago. They go and subcontract the Mexico portion from Guadalajara to Nuevo Laredo.
Okay.
And that's a Mexican trucking company that they're hiring to take it from Guadalajara to Nuevo Laredo. Now, as a freight broker, you're sending one rate confirmation to one carrier from Guadalajara to Chicago. They take a chunk of that and pay the Mexican carrier. They take a small amount and pay the transfer carrier. And then they pay their driver on the US side to go from Laredo to Chicago or
Yeah.
from Nuevo Laredo to Chicago if it's a B1 driver. Now, um, there is no cargo insurance required in Mexico by law. So what that means is that in the United States, like in order to haul freight as a trucking company and as a freight broker, you have to have cargo insurance. Otherwise you can't do it. Like you just can't. The FMCSA doesn't permit it. In Mexico, those requirements don't exist. And so you have to, first of all, by default, it lands on the liability lands on the onus of the manufacturer, the beneficial cargo owner of the goods. They're
Wow.
responsible for the freight.
And
If it is, if they want, they can try to get you to sign a contract, which happens sometimes where it says that you're liable for it. I also had an instance where a customer tried to sue for like $1.6 million, but something happened in Mexico and they lost. So
right.
like there's it, it's you don't really have the liability. And I always tell people if, usually the shipper has liability coverage already in place, like they have insurance for their goods wherever they are. But if they want the added layer, either you refer them to a Reliance Partners that has borderless coverage, or which is Mexico cargo insurance program that they offer, or a broker can buy it, or a carrier can buy it for that customer. But it's not, it doesn't go in your normal cargo policy like a domestic claim would.
Yeah. I think you said too, like the Mexico, the ones that are cargo, it's like pennies on the pound or something like that, right? Is if they do have something.
Yeah, something that's like 42,000 pounds ends up being 17 or $1,800 that gets reimbursed. So there is an amount that's required in Mexico, but it is pennies on the pound. So it's a fraction. Like you're not getting the $100,000 or the $75,000 that the load's worth.
Yeah. And now is Canada similar or are they like the US?
No, Canada, there's insurance. Although I don't think it's quite the same, but I think the expectation on a cross-border truckload move is that it's similar.
Okay, gotcha. Interesting.
One other thing that I want to encourage people about, like when you get that first load, the first question is, great, I'd love to get introduced to your customs broker. Um, I want to make sure people don't just like wander into this blindly. And we coach people through this stuff anyways, but like, um, the customs broker is the one that is handling the liability or the taxes and duties that are applied or filed on behalf of the manufacturer, the importer of record. So when something's going from Mexico to the United States, it's getting imported into the United States. That means the company, like if I were in Mexico selling you something in the United States, you'd be responsible for the duties and taxes that need to be paid on those goods that are imported, which is why we're hearing about this de minimis thing right now with things coming from overseas, and why all of a sudden there's taxes on things that were normally not taxed under $800 for like a package you might get on like Shein or Temu or whatever. Same issue. So like, customs broker handles filing all the paperwork with the US government or the Mexican government, depending on where it's going. Um, and they act on behalf of the manufacturer. So you're not necessarily trying to replace them, you work with them. And so that's the question that you want to ask is, hey, who's your customs broker? Can you connect me with them? We will work with them to make sure that your freight gets cleared. And so anytime there's a problem at the border, they can help you with that stuff.